the headlines of this hour on VTV News. Vietnam-New Zealand announced relationship upgrade to comprehensive strategic partnership. Later on, ASEAN promotes the bloc's centrality and flexibility amid challenges. And in a world news, Thailand to uphold relentless approach in addressing telecom fraud issue.
Broadcasting from Hanoi, the capital of Vietnam. VTV News starts right now.
Good morning. It is currently 8 a.m. local time and you're tuning into 30 minutes of VTV News. I'm Dylan Lê with the latest updates. Now on Tuesday evening and Wednesday morning, Party General Secretary Tô Lâm, State President Lương Cường, and Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính hosted separate receptions and working sessions for Malaysian Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim, who is in Vietnam to attend the second ASEAN Future Forum 2025. At the meetings, the two nations' leaders aimed to approve the action program soon to realize the comprehensive strategic partnership for the 2025 to 2028 period and expand cooperation in many technological, digital, and green areas.
At the meeting held on Tuesday evening, Party General Secretary Tô Lâm warmly welcomed Malaysian Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim to Vietnam. The two leaders also noted the rapid growth in trade and investment, which is close to reaching the 18 billion USD target set by both leaders. Regarding the East Sea issue, the two sides agreed to continue supporting ASEAN's common stance on the East Sea, ensuring the full and serious implementation of the declaration on the conduct of parties in the East Sea, and expediting negotiations to conclude an effective and substantive Code of Conduct, COC, in the East Sea in accordance with international law.
During his meeting with the Malaysian Prime Minister, the state president praised the Malaysian leader's vision and contributions at the ASEAN Future Forum. The state president called for continued collaboration on key regional issues, particularly in maintaining ASEAN's unified stance on the East Sea. The Malaysian Prime Minister reiterated Malaysia's strong commitment to strengthening the comprehensive strategic partnership with Vietnam. The two leaders recognized the vast potential for deeper cooperation between the two nations and agreed to expand collaboration.
At a working breakfast with the Malaysian Prime Minister on Wednesday morning, Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính congratulated Malaysia on being recognized as one of the 27 most competitive economies in the world. The Malaysian Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim expressed admiration for Vietnam's remarkable socio-economic progress. Regarding future cooperation orientations, the two sides agreed to strengthen exchanges and contacts at all levels and across multiple channels. The Prime Ministers also emphasized the importance of maritime and ocean cooperation.
On Wednesday afternoon, Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính hosted a welcome ceremony for his New Zealand counterpart, Christopher Luxon, who is paying an official visit to Vietnam and attending the second ASEAN Future Forum. Also that day, Party General Secretary Tô Lâm and the state president hosted separate receptions for the New Zealand Prime Minister. These meetings highlighted Vietnam and New Zealand's issuing a joint statement on elevating their bilateral relationship to a comprehensive strategic partnership.
In a warm, open, and trusting atmosphere, Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính extended a heartfelt welcome to Prime Minister of New Zealand Christopher Luxon on his first visit to Vietnam. The two leaders agreed on a new footing for the Vietnam-New Zealand relationship to a comprehensive strategic partnership. They stressed the importance of swiftly developing an action program to outline specific initiatives, plans, and cooperation projects under this new framework. Both sides committed to strengthening political and diplomatic ties, increasing high-level exchanges and delegation visits, and maintaining bilateral cooperation mechanisms. As part of the upgraded partnership, the two countries witnessed the signing of 8 cooperation agreements.
During a meeting with the Prime Minister of New Zealand, who also serves as chair of the New Zealand National Party, Party General Secretary To Lam praised the outcomes of the talks between the two prime ministers, particularly the issuance of the joint statement upgrading Vietnam-New Zealand relations to a comprehensive strategic partnership. The two leaders agreed on key directions to advance bilateral relations in this new era.
During his meeting with the Prime Minister of New Zealand, State President Lung Keung praised the new milestone in bilateral ties as it paves the way for broader and deeper cooperation between the two nations. Both leaders agreed this was just the beginning and underscored the need to translate the new relationship framework into concrete programs, projects, and cooperation initiatives across various sectors.
In a special ceremony marking 70 years of Vietnam's healthcare sector, State President Lung Keung reaffirmed the government's commitment to prioritizing healthcare in its national development strategy. He also highlighted the importance of continuing to improve the healthcare system to meet international standards. This includes building a nationwide healthcare system, improving specialized medical services, and developing a dedicated, skilled healthcare workforce. During the ceremony, the state president awarded the title of People's Doctor to 46 outstanding healthcare professionals for their exceptional service to the nation. On Wednesday, Prime Minister Pham Minh Chinh, Malaysian Prime Minister and Prime Minister of New Zealand and Timor-Leste President attended the high-level plenary session of the ASEAN Future Forum 2025. More on this in the following.
At the event, leaders expressed their appreciation for Vietnam's initiative in organizing the ASEAN Future Forum. They praised Vietnam as a remarkable success story, highlighting its impressive progress from poverty to a model of economic development, food security, industrialization, and modernization. During the session, Prime Minister Pham Minh Chinh and other leaders engaged in a high-level Q&A session, tackling key issues related to ASEAN's development. On strategic autonomy, the Vietnamese Prime Minister emphasized the need for ASEAN members to strengthen self-reliance, maintain balanced foreign relations, and focus on economic growth. When asked how ASEAN can maintain a rules-based regional order, he highlighted the importance of resolving international issues based on shared interests and mutual respect. Regarding ASEAN's central role on the global stage, the Prime Minister underscored that each member state must actively contribute to peace, cooperation, and development.
ASEAN shall support solutions that promote peace, cooperation, and development. The bloc must play a stronger role in addressing global challenges, whether they involve war and peace, poverty reduction, conflict resolution, or navigating strategic competition. Climate change, artificial intelligence, cloud computing, and the Internet of Things are also critical aspects that ASEAN must not only participate in but take the lead in. The bloc's ultimate goal is to contribute to a more peaceful, cooperative, and prosperous world for all.
At the session, leaders also discussed major global and regional concerns. The Vietnamese Prime Minister reaffirmed Vietnam's support for Malaysia to chair ASEAN in 2025 and expressed hope that Malaysia's leadership would drive innovative solutions to the region's most pressing challenges.
The ASEAN Future Forum concluded its final working day with key discussions on sub-regional cooperation to strengthen resilience, promote sustainable development, and govern emerging technologies for comprehensive security. These discussions not only addressed pressing regional challenges, but also fostered opportunities for deeper collaboration among member states and partners.
In the third plenary session of the ASEAN Future Forum 2025, speakers focused on leveraging the strengths of sub-regional countries to tackle environmental challenges and enhance economic resilience.
Mekong runs through half of ASEAN. If there is serious ecological change in the Mekong region, it will affect all of Southeast Asia. I think we need to, for example, bring the Mekong issues into the mainstream of ASEAN discussions. There is a need for closer cooperation, not just among the Mekong countries, and other Southeast Asian countries, and with dialogue partners.
Experts also examined the opportunities and challenges posed by AI, quantum computing, synthetic biology, and other emerging technologies. The discussions emphasized striking a balance between innovation and responsible governance, while addressing risks such as cybercrime and establishing legal frameworks for evolving security issues.
The countries, Vietnam and the ASEAN member states, they have to adapt to these challenges. It's not the right way to avoid them, but with joint efforts, the ASEAN countries can adapt and try to find a solution, how to use technologies in the best way. And one of them is also the ASEAN digital framework on digital economy, which is under discussion. And I believe this document will make a good impact on the dealing with these challenges.
It's not only looking to, for example, the more traditional players in terms of major powers just because they have that capacity and capability. It's also looking within ourselves to figure out unique methods to address and overcome those challenges that we haven't otherwise considered. And so talking among ourselves, figuring out what matters to us, talking to other regions such as in Africa and Latin America beyond the traditional great powers, I think that can really strengthen how we overcome those non-traditional security challenges.
The ASEAN Future Forum wrapped up after 2 days of dynamic discussions, with numerous significant initiatives and ideas set to drive regional cooperation and sustainable development.
The ASEAN Future Forum is an initiative Prime Minister Phie introduced during the 43rd ASEAN Summit. At this year's event, international delegates praised Vietnam's pivotal role in advancing regional cooperation and shaping ASEAN's future. They highlighted Vietnam as an active member and a key driver in fostering dialogue on global challenges, sustainable development, and strengthening relations with international partners for the ASEAN community's future.
Vietnam is contributing in terms of not just its membership, but now active role like here at the ASEAN Future Forum. This kind of initiative is a very important initiative to contribute to the maintenance and promotion of peace and stability in the region.
I really think it's a fantastic initiative by Vietnam. We see leadership across ASEAN member states within the ASEAN institution to be able to continue to ensure that it grows and adapts to challenges. By the great number of people who've come here from ASEAN member states, but from ASEAN dialogue partners as well, I think this really reflects the importance of this discussion, the necessity for this type of forum to take place.
So Vietnam is playing an active role. This is the second ASEAN Future Forum. We can see this year that it is a bigger event and it has a broader agenda, so addressing some of the really big challenges that we all face, and in particular that ASEAN and its partners want to face together.
We do not only discuss international relations and regional affairs, but also such topics as agriculture, the role and the growth of technologies, the economic transformation, the digital economy. All these topics are very relevant, and they are actually indicate what is the future of ASEAN, and we have to adapt to these challenges and to discuss them.
There are a number of other regional forums, but with Vietnam, I think looking the way it does to the future, there are a lot of promising avenues for this forum to take off even further into the coming years. The country will continue to play an increasingly important role in ASEAN in bringing the ASEAN countries together, but in also propelling ASEAN forward in negotiating and discussing with the other major players.
Prime Minister Phie on February the 26th hosted Chinese Vice Foreign Minister Sun Weidong, who is in Vietnam to attend the second ASEAN Future Forum AFF 2025 in Hanoi. During the meeting, the Prime Minister expressed his desire for both ministries of foreign affairs to strengthen their role as the standing agencies of the Vietnam-China Bilateral Cooperation Steering Committee. A key focus is expediting infrastructure connectivity projects, particularly making concrete progress on constructing the Lao Cai-Hanoi-Haiphong railway line. The Prime Minister urged both sides to accelerate discussions to finalize protocols on Vietnam's agricultural exports to China. Chinese Vice Foreign Minister Sun Weidong reaffirmed that the Chinese party and government prioritize relations with Vietnam as a key aspect of their foreign policy. In his meeting with the global CEO of S&P Global Ratings, Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính praised S&P's long-standing interest in Vietnam. With over 1 million credit ratings worldwide, S&P has actively shared its expertise on credit assessment to help improve Vietnam's sovereign credit rating, facilitating deeper global integration. The Prime Minister requested that S&P continue providing policy advice, offering updated information, and supporting the development of Vietnam's financial and capital markets. He also emphasized the importance of building market confidence through credit ratings and called for S&P's assistance in mobilizing capital for infrastructure development. The S&P Global CEO reiterated S&P's commitment to contributing to Vietnam's fast and sustainable economic growth. Coming up next on VTV News, Mekong Delta gets ready for new apparatus. And later on, Retro Cafe offers a ride back in time. Welcome back to VTV News Live. Now, shrimp farmers in Hồng Dân District, Bạc Liêu Province are facing difficulties in stocking shrimp for the first crop due to low salinity levels. Only about 50% of the planned farming area has been stocked. Salinity levels in certain shrimp farming areas range from just 1 to 3 parts per thousand, which is insufficient for shrimp to grow and develop. In response, farmers in some shrimp rice farming areas have raised giant freshwater prawns and white-leg shrimp to minimize idle land. To support production, local authorities have requested the Bạc Liêu Provincial Water Regulation Steering Committee enhance water management, ensuring an adequate supply of saline water for shrimp farming. Each Mekong Delta locality is accelerating the handover, reception, and transition of workplaces to ensure the official start of new, restructured, and streamlined agencies on March the 1st. With the decisive direction from party committees and authorities, many provinces and cities have completed this task ahead of schedule.
17 An Giang Provincial Department of Agriculture and Environment subordinate units are urgently transferring staff in handling over documents.
Regarding the new agency seal, we propose that the Provincial Police Agency complete it before this Saturday so that we can officially start operating at the beginning of March.
We rearrange job positions so that employees can meet new tasks. In the new agency, we require everyone to work immediately, without letting work be interrupted.
After streamlining, this number will decrease by 10 to 20%. Localities are also striving to ensure that all activities are not disrupted before, during, and after the operation of the new operational structure.
We commit to businesses and individuals that the government will work continuously, strongly shifting from administrative government to service government with fast and compact digitalization applications.
The province's leaders also proposed that the new departments and agencies quickly provide information on their agency addresses and standardize the focal points for receiving and resolving procedures for residents and businesses.
For the first time, all 63 provinces and cities of Vietnam will be introduced at a world exhibition using modern technologies like mapping, virtual reality, and holograms. Expo 2025 will take place from April 13th to October the 13th in Osaka, Japan, featuring over 150 countries and attracting an estimated 28 million visitors. Vietnam will host events to promote culture, tourism, and investment while celebrating Vietnam National Day. The official logo of Vietnam's exhibition house at Expo 2025 was unveiled at the announcement event. More than just a place to sip a cup of coffee, many cafes have become spaces embodying traditional culture and architecture. Aiming to offer customers unique experiences, more and more retro-style cafes are popping up in Nha Trang, attracting numerous visitors.
Nested in a small alley near Dumb Market, this cafe seems completely detached from the hustle and bustle of the city streets. The cafe's decoration is simple yet elaborate, vividly depicting past days with time-worn items. These efforts create a warm and nostalgic atmosphere, bringing a sense of peace and simplicity.
When I look at the sewing machine, I think of the old days when I often saw my grandmother sitting and sewing. This shop keeps small items that remind me of my childhood.
The house's structure remains largely intact, despite being almost a century old. In that homely atmosphere, over cups of coffee, stories about bygone culture seem to come to life.
The coffee's owner collected many documents and books on subjects such as Vietnamese classic opera. That attracts me to drink coffee because I can learn from these materials.
It is very difficult to find newspapers from 1986 and 1987. Books about Vietnamese culture, traditional performance art, and bilingual books about Vietnamese pagodas are also difficult to find, but I can find them here. Many foreign guests from Korea, Europe, and Russia visit this cafe.
Amidst the modern rhythm of a young city, old and tranquil havens have become precious hidden gems. Retro-style cafes are the places that preserve these values. These cafes also help introduce the city's cultural and historical values to residents and visitors.
Coming up next in our world news, Thailand to uphold relentless approach in addressing telecom fraud issue. Later on, Meta sued for alleged hiring bias in favor of foreign workers. Now moving on to our world news, Thai Prime Minister Paetongtarn Shinawatra on Tuesday pledged to strengthen international cooperation and dialogue with China and Myanmar to effectively address telecom fraud. Multiple Thai departments have collaborated with telecom companies to cut off suspicious communications and network signals in border areas. Phie Tongtarn also commented that Thailand has made some progress in preventing this form of crime, repatriating suspects and receiving positive feedback from many countries. According to the plan, the Thai Prime Minister will visit Sa Kaeo province on the border with Cambodia on Friday to assess the situation and strengthen cooperation with the Cambodian government in solving this problem. More than 1,000 UK musicians released a silent album on Tuesday titled "Is This What We Want?" in response to the UK government's proposed changes to copyright law. The artists recorded silent moments in studios and empty performance venues as a warning of the bleak future of music if copyright laws are changed. The UK government has proposed relaxing current copyright laws. Accordingly, AI developers can use any material they have legal access to train AI models. The proposal has caused a strong backlash from the music business. They argue that this goes against the fundamental principles of copyright law, which protect the rights of creators. The UK government has stood by its position but has pledged to listen to stakeholders before making a final decision. Meta is facing a lawsuit in the U.S. for allegedly favoring foreign workers over U.S. candidates to reduce labor costs. Specifically, 3 U.S. citizens have accused Meta of refusing to hire them despite being qualified. The 3 said they applied for several Meta jobs between 2020 and 2024, but were turned down because of Meta's systematic preference for visa holders. In a statement, Meta said the allegations were baseless and would continue to defend itself against them vigorously. However, the judge cited statistics showing that 15% of Meta's U.S. workforce hold H-1B visas, typically foreign professionals, compared with 0.5% of the wider workforce. In October 2021, Meta also agreed to pay up to $14.25 million, including a civil fine to settle federal government claims it routinely refused to consider American workers for jobs it reserved for temporary visa holders. South Korea's fertility rate rose in 2024 for the first time in 9 years. This increase is supported by an increase in marriages, a sign that the country's demographic crisis might have turned a corner.
Some 238,300 babies were born in South Korea last year, an increase of 8,300 from 2023. The country's fertility rate rose to 0.75 in 2024, up from 0.72 in 2023. After 8 consecutive years of decline from 1.24 in 2015.
The number of marriages delayed due to the coronavirus has increased significantly, and the trend continues. Social values also changed, with more positive views about childbirth.
When Nam Hyun-jin had her first child, South Korea, in her words, were less encouraging for having a child. However, certain factors have changed in the past 5 years, as South Korea now faces the lowest birth rate in the world. Last year, her employer started handing out childbirth bonuses worth $70,000 to employees. After Nam gave birth to her second child in August last year, she, too, received her bonus.
My company's culture, which encourages having more children, provides a huge help.
From 2024, South Korean parents who take 6 months of parental leave within 18 months can receive up to 4.5 million won per month in childcare leave benefits. This year, the government obligates listed companies to include childcare-related statistics in regulatory filings, with incentives for government projects and financial support for small and medium-sized firms.
Up next, let's have a look at the weather forecast. And that is all that we have for this hour on VTV News. To rewatch our program, you can visit our website, our YouTube channel, or download the mobile app VTVgo for more. Thank you for watching, and goodbye for now.